Playing my Fender Telecaster today. This is obviously a real Fender Telecaster. You can tell by the way it's Telecaster shaped with its Telecaster headstock and all the usual bits and bobs. So I had got no plan at all. I was looking at the wall, basically those two guitars, in fact, and the Sword guitar. I noticed they're all one pickup guitars, and I thought, yay, one pickup guitars, I'll do that. Obviously, my boring corner with the SG and the Strat in it isn't one pickup. It's a wee bit jerky. Hopefully that's not Hey David! I've just noticed what's looking really weird. It's inversed. Normally when I can see myself in the screen, it's the right way around. But all the writing's in mirror image. Kind of looking at the screen going, something's really different. What is it? That's what it is. So, yeah, here's a guitar I made out of a joist, or two joists stuck together. You can see there. I never made a backpick for it. And obviously I had a little bit of experimentation with the neck bolt. And isn't that a lovely feature there? This is after I built the Shocking Bird, which is that one, which I'm going to play in a bit. I drew around, this is a corner of a Washburn Stage Series, which I don't know, they're all packed away just now, and a Telecaster. This neck, I think, I didn't know at the time, but I think it's a Behringer neck. It wasn't me that put the Fender Telecaster logo on it. I left it on. I would never normally leave a Fender logo on a guitar, but it's I thought it was hilarious in this one. This is totally unfinished. It's just Skelfie pine. Doesn't really smell of wood anymore. It's probably been a few years since I built it. These bridges are awesome. You get them in China. They're only about $5. It is through strung, like a Telecaster. This pickup is actually gold, but I brassoed it to make it look silver. It's from a Dean Cadillac, a 1980 Dean Cadillac, but I don't think 1980 is the year. I think 1980 is the model. So it's coil splittable. So I'm using the fuzz pedal. Just we're going to the bit cleaner. Go for the US Dream. That's an humbucker. That should be single coil. And these were at the time the cheapest tuners I could get. See, they've got pearloid tops on them. I thought when I bought them they were silver. Turned out they weren't. It was plasticky looking pearloid, which is fine. I was happy with that. Got a really chunky neck. I think it's a Behringer guitar, this headstock shape. And if so, good neck for Behringer. So I was going to sell this. I would sell it if anyone wanted to buy it, but it's one of those things that I'm only going to get 20 or 30 quid for it, but I'll just keep it. Sorry, not worth it. It's got more blood and sweat in it from me, probably quite literally, than anything else. Make this, I just drew around I stuck two joists together. I think actually this is when I decided I could dowel them together. I'd got the dowel things. So I got dowels, drilled a hole in here and a hole in here, stuck them together, glued them and clamped them to make like a bigger block, because the pieces I would have had are only, well, you can see in the back, they're that wide. You can't even see. Hey Daniel, can't even see the join in that. Well, okay, you can there. Is that the join? This is after I realised that I don't actually have it anymore. I used to have a table saw, and see the edges of pieces of joist, they're kind of rounded. See, if you run that through the table saw and just cut it so it's a straight line, the two bits stick together much easier. If you saw a flying V bass, you realise I hadn't done that on that one. I suppose I'll go into another one of my saw made out of wood. joist. This has been the same sort of joist. This is a Peavey Predator. A Predator Plus ST, which I bought. Hideous looking guitar that was. I bought it for the 7-string because I wanted a 7-string. Didn't want to pay for a 7-string. So here we go. We've got I suppose you call it a 7-string Esquire. Looks like I missed where the bridge should have gone first time, and I've just dilled it and put it back on again. Kind of looks like knots though, because there's knots in it anyway. So Tune-o-matic, air vent, single volume, probably coil split as well. Yeah, just got a truss rod adjustment in there. The strings on this are not elixirs because I don't think I bought 7-string elixirs. So this one is going to be crunchy. I'm going back onto the. This is the first time I played this, I think, since I got the 8-string guitar, and it's much easier because you can just ignore that 8-string. Hey, Ravensmead. Is that a cross button? There we go. Again, this one, no finish on it at all. You can see in the back, it's where the two pieces of wood are joined together. Just hacked it out with a jigsaw, stuck a neck on it. Pretty easy. The Peavey Predator, someone had converted it to a 6-string. I think it was someone that did have arthritis or big fingers or something wrong with their hand. So they wanted a really wide neck for the 6 strings. So this had been converted to a 6-string nut. Extra bits had been filed onto the Tune-o-matic bridge, which I filed my own things back on to make it back into a 7. And it should have been a 2-pickup guitar. And one of the pickups was a jazz bass rail pickup. It was in the neck of the Peavey, and that's now in my Geezer Butler bass, the jazz bass rail pickup. And I didn't want to spend any money on it, trying to make it as cheap as possible. I'm pretty sure these tuners made in Korea. There you go. I was going to say I'm pretty sure it only had 6 tuners on it. You can see that this one here has a wee thingy screw, but it's got a similar head on it. You would never know, unless I practically pointed it out. I actually got a comment on my 8-string bass video the other day talking about it's like, oh wow, I've never seen anyone play an 8-string like this. Where's all the other videos of you playing 8-string? Because I was kind of playing it clean and using the bottom strings as a bass just to try and use it. And some guy was really impressed with that. And I was like, no, I only did it in that video just to see if it worked. And let's be honest, I've not touched 8-string since. I need to get myself new strings for it. I don't know where to get them. If you look up eBay, there's just so many different types and variations. I just kind of, every time, just kind of gave up. This guitar's actually got a really nice strap on it, or a really odd strap. It's got like a skull baby. I think I might put that on my Ibanez Blazer, actually. Yeah, so I mean, not really much to be said about it. Is that these guitars don't take very long to demo, seeing as they've only got one pickup. I'm getting rid of the ones that made it a rubbish first. But if you're fancying a luthiery, it's really easy to make a Telecaster. You really just nail 2 bits of wood together, and then it's just a case of chipping away at it until it works. These play really well, but it's the best 7-string I've ever played. I think I've played 3 7-strings. That's what I was thinking. My pal, I'll just name check it. My pal Rab, he learned to play guitar probably quite a few years ago now, but he was amazing at playing open chords, and he refused to learn to play bar chords at the start. So what happened was he ended up being so good at playing dinghy chords, and every time he gave up with the bar chords totally, so he just couldn't play a song with a B in it. See, on this guitar, you've got all your normal chords, D, E, F, C, G, but you've got a B there. Nice to meet you. That's my name. This has really just shown me how I've got far too many guitars. I mean, never really. Every time, because I haven't played these for so long, they're actually all turning out to be really good, which is kind of surprising. I'll go through the ones that are on the floor. This was one I was actually going to mod live on the air, but I don't think I could be bothered. The problem with this one is my pal Jerry's Son and the Smoking Gun. If you look them up, stick closer to the mic. Stick closer to mic. It's gone a bit wobbly. I could stand closer to the mic. I can't really move it any closer. Is that better? Now the difference is if I don't look at you, I look at the mic instead. Maybe that'll help. Yeah. So this, I think maybe I'm just too close to the. Maybe if I stand here, better. Maybe too close to the camera. Yeah, this is my Washburn Force 3. Nope, it's a Force 2 with one pickup. This has the Washburn harmonic lock bridge. Well, it's got what looks like a harmonic lock bridge, but it doesn't have the locking things on it, and it's a tremolo. Volume control, power sustained pickup. This is the same range as my Force 8 bass, the blue and white one. But it's so you've got this crazy. It's kind of like a Strat on the outside, but the neck join is away in here. There's no heel, so the neck actually comes like in below the scratch plate into here, so you get ridiculous high fit access. I have actually used this in the studio with my band, playing Black Knight for some tremolo boost, and it was sounding amazing. I knew the notes then. Hey Billy, how's it going in Edinburgh? What are the chances of I'll try to pick up a little bit. Nah. Can't be doing that on the fly. Good luck. sounds like the two mics are out of phase. There should only be one mic on. I don't know what's going on. Anyone else having problems with the mic? It might just be too far away from it. I wonder how I can test the mic. I wonder, is there technical stuff? I didn't do anything different from what I did last time. What does that do? Right, probably not that. I wonder if there's a thing that says, where's my audio options? Oh, I can't remember. I don't know if it's going to allow me to. I might just lose the. I'm trying to go into options here. Sound. Master volume. Choose your input device. Hello. I don't know what's going on. That's kind of annoying the way it's not working. I don't really know. I mean. Live is difficult to do. I wonder if it's I'm not doing anything different from what I was doing before. Or maybe just play the guitar a bit less. It's just saying I'm using the Snowball mic, which is right. I've got the volume up full on it. There shouldn't be anything else. Something's happening. What's my computer doing? I hate computers. Yeah, maybe I'll just talk a little bit more, but play a little bit less. Yeah, so 1983. Absolutely love this guitar. It's fantastic. Only thing I don't like about it is it says Force 2 on the head with the one pickup, whereas I've also got a Force 2 with 2 pickups, and I've got a Force 3 with 3 pickups, a Force 4 that's a bass, and a Force 8 that's a bass. So this should really just be a Force 1. It's not. It's got the most amazing... I think Fender do it as well. It's like a transparent white. You probably can't see it. You can see the grain through the sort of opaque. You can sort of see it there. The opaqueness. As I was saying there, I'm going to break into this, and when I say break into it, I'm going to put rubber stuff on the springs, because when you hit notes on this, it really rings after you've hit the note, sort of thing. Which, if you can't hear me properly anyway, you're never hearing that. So I'm going to do that, but I'm just looking at the screws are a bit chewed up, so it's not going to be a very quick job. So I'll probably just end. I'm going to run through the next few guitars for the next 5 minutes. I'm sorry the sound's not very good. I don't really know what I can do different. I wonder if maybe it's because I've got that on at the same time. Don't know. What am I going through? All right, okay. Oh. All right, sorry for Billy. So that must be, I don't know. Maybe you're doing it wrong. It's not me. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. So that was a Washburn Force 2. This is now Force 2. Yes. This is now a 1986, I think, Westone Clipper 6, which is quite a rare one. Actually, I was talking to the guy the other day in a message. The computer mic is off. It's only using this one. Look, that's not going to make any difference turning off the TV unless it's some sort of feedback. Look, I don't think that's happening. Turn that down. tempted just to stop and start again, but I can't be bothered doing that. I'm nearly done anyway. I was only going to try and make it half an hour. So it's 20 minutes. So I've now got another 10 minutes of bad sound. I wonder if it might be all right when I upload it afterwards. It might be a streaming issue or something like that. This computer is a little bit not really big enough to do it. It's my girlfriend's, like, is it a notepad or something it's called? So I think it's probably full of junk that I do ask quite a lot of it. Yeah, so Matsumoku made Westone Clipper 6. This has an original 70s DiMarzio Super Distortion in it. This is the same bridge that was on the first Telecaster, the one from China. It didn't have a bridge. It didn't have tuners. These are Grovers on it, which I got from a Shine guitar. They're kind of cloudy. There's no serial number on it because it's been sanded off. Like I said, a guy actually talked to me last week. Yeah, bloke's messing with my head. Probably, Billy, probably. He was talking to me last week. He said, I sold you that. I think he said piece of shit Westone telly thing. It was like, that was good. I can't remember what I paid for. I think it was like 30 quid or something like that. But it didn't have. It was basically just the body and the neck. So I did do quite a lot of work to make it work. Someone unfortunately he sanded the back of the neck, so it's like the bare wood, which some people feel. Yeah, and it's got two. I think this might have actually been the first single pickup guitar I've ever owned. Did it actually come with the original pickup? I think it might have actually had the original MK45 pickup in it. Didn't have a bridge though. I didn't have tuners. It's got two switches, and basically they turn on each coil. But originally this guitar, it did turn on each coil, but it didn't put them in series. So although it looks like it's got a humbucker, it was actually two single coils in series that it had. I've got it wired as a humbucker. It's still with two on switches. So that's off. That's this coil. That's this coil. And that's both of them on. And this was used by for at least 5 or 10 minutes. This is an official Status Quo guitar because there's an advert for Status Quo. Humbucker, keep rolling down, keep rolling down. Yeah, this is actually the pickup that I bought. This pickup, I bought two of these relatively recently, last year maybe. They were really cheap, which I kind of didn't really think about. The guy, I think he's got his dad's SG or something. They were from that, and I paid buttons for them. But I think they're microphonic, because I tried putting one in my Westone Raider there, and took it into the studio, and it was really, when you hit the body of the guitar, it was pure ringing. So I swapped the one that I had in this with the one that was in that. So this is the one I think that it is quite microphonic, but kind of maybe that's part of the sound. Also, if you're looking at these, it's when you step back the sound goes funny. Does that mean if I step forward it sounds all right? It might be something to do with the fact that it's trying to sort of automatically level between me playing a blasting guitar and talking. Maybe I'll get the guitar up too loud. It probably makes sense. I hate other Malcolm. Yeah, there was a band called The Shaman who had a hit called Ebenezer Good, and in that video they've got a black one of these, and Status Quo used it. I think that's about the only famous ones. You do get other models, but they've got a pointy headstock and have more normal layouts. You get like an HSS and a single one. They're not Japanese, they are Korean. They're the same year as this, but for some reason this model was the last models made in Matsumoku in Japan, and then they didn't make them anymore. The next models, all the later on West Tones, were more super stratty and then made in Korean. I can't honestly say that the Japanese ones are better because I've not actually ever played one of the Korean ones, but I'd say the chances are they are. It certainly works that way with all the other like Washburns and Arias and things like that. So I'd imagine West Tone are the same. West Tone were actually Matsumoku's house brand. So when the factory closed down, they must have sold it to somebody or whatever. Yeah, so I'm just running through these quickly. It was quite bad not having any other sounds to choose. They've all only got one. Well, technically, most of them seem to have coil splits and stuff in them. Yeah. Oh, so I'm not going to run through all of them because I was playing that the other day. So I'll go for the ugly. I thinking of selling this one. I did actually sell it. I sold it to my pal Ronnie, or did I swap it for something? And then 6 months later, he swapped it back for something else. Must have not liked it. This is the man who said, I don't understand why every time he buys a guitar, it doesn't have a tremolo arm. Have you ever lost a tremolo arm? And I was like, no. And then when I got it back, he'd lost the tremolo arm. So Ronnie, I remember Glasgow band Heavy Petting. I'd never heard of them. I recognise the name. I think I've seen their records. I put a video up on the Washburn guitar page the other night of them doing, was it a Eurovision Song Contest? I didn't know they were a Glasgow band. My pal James, I think, knows them. And in that video, they had, because they had a Washburn G15V, which is a guitar I've got. So that was why I'd been showing the video. I showed the video, and then as it panned in, the keyboard player was playing a Casio CZ1, which is the synth I've got sitting in the hall, and the drummer was playing a Premier Resonator kit, which is the one I've got in the garage. It's like basically all my stuff, all used on stage and by Heavy Petting. That's really all I know about them. I think, sure, my pal said they were still they're still going or under. I can't remember what he said they were called, but some of them are still together and they're still playing round about Glasgow, I think. Speaking of Glasgow, here's a Grant guitar. Grant shop in a few shops across Scotland. One of them was on Byers Road. What's your favourite guitar I own? It's Samto Linen. Yeah. Every time anyone asks me, I just say it's the Washburn 8-string bass, the B28, because it's got everything. It's through neck, quilted top, ebony fingerboard, brass everywhere, and 4 strings that tune from the top and 4 from the back, and it sounds like a herd of elephants. So I just choose that one. All the rest of them, it depends which one I'm playing. My favourite one's the one I'm playing just now, sort of thing. Could be this one, which I've officially called an ugly. So Grant were in the West End of Glasgow. I think it was Byers Road, and they did a lot of cheap copy guitars, like not so many Strats, a lot of Les Pauls, P basses. I've seen SGs, stuff like that. I did a lot of sort of early Japanese Les Pauls, and they were quite good guitars, but they'd really, really cheap hardware. I think when they were buying these guitars in, you had a kind of choice. You could get it on basically the same guitar with hundreds of different brands on it, and you got to choose which hardware. And the Grants were the ones that they chose the cheapest hardware you could get, so the tuners are really quite bendy and the bridge is plastic and things like that. I think you can buy the actual guitar itself is pretty good though. They're good for upgrading. But they had a a blast later on. This, I think he was a bit of a bargain hunter. This seems to be a Sigma by Martin guitar, which was when Martin decided they were going to try and do electric guitars. This is kind of a little bit of hearsay in here, a wee bit of guesswork. When Martin started doing electric guitars, they did one that looked exactly the same as this, that never took off. Same headstock and everything. And there's also a brand called Yoshi who do a guitar very similar to this as well. I think Mr. Grant got a bargain palette of this guitar with got his own logo put on the top. That's it. There's no serial numbers. I know someone has commented on the video I've done this before, saying that they remember seeing them in 1985. So I think this is about 1985. It does look a bit like an Aria Cat, sort of. I can see that, yeah. It's more Gibson-y though. It's sort of Gibson-y sort of headstock, and yes, I think it would have been a Martin Sigma had it done well. I think they maybe made them for a year and nobody bought them, so they kind of sold them off cheap. You know, the kits to make them. Very simple guitar. It does have a coil split on it. Very much a Gotoh DiMarzio Super Distortion. Again, like all good guitars from this era have. But these are stunning. The reason I'm selling this one is I've actually got, my pal Wayne gave me one exactly the same colour, but the 2 pickup version, and I've actually, in Bathgate, I managed to find this exact guitar, but silver, which is fantastic. I met Charlie Burchill of Simple Minds in Grant Spires Road. Well, I've never actually been to Grant's before my time. You might have seen these guitars before. It does have certain, whoever it was that said it was Aria, like it does have the 3-piece neck, a very glossy finish, which is lovely. And you can see it's got this sort of the sort of very figured maple in it, which actually reminds me very much of this Aria, which is, it's the same, similar sort of thing. It's much more obvious in this actually because it's not so shiny. But even headstock wise, it's maybe not. It's maybe, yeah. Maybe a little bit of family resemblance. Don't know where these were made. They do say made in Japan in the back, but it's a bit of a guess, and they didn't last very long. There is a, as I said, there's a 2 pickup version and a 1 pickup version, and there is a bass, and the one bass I've seen was turquoise or a blue, glitter blue. So I kind of wish I'd bought that a little bit to make the full set. I'm not, apart from that, really don't know anything about them. They're kind of bizarre guitars, but the quality on them is absolutely stunning. So here's the sound going to go funny again because I'm going to start playing the guitar again. Electrics. I've played an Ovation Breadwinner before. And my pal had an Ovation Breadwinner, and he showed me a magazine advert of Steve Marriott in the 70s, I think, sitting going like that. The most comfortable guitar I've ever played. And my view of that is Steve Marriott was lying. You look at it, you think that's a really crazy shape. I wonder why it's that shape. Maybe it's really comfy. Maybe not. It's like, unless you're a really strange shape. I mean, I didn't. It was all right. It was a kind of weird one. I think it was. It seemed to. It was either very. I think it was very heavy, but it was a really strange. There seemed to be an awful lot of guitar here, sort of thing. It was kind of like the opposite when you're playing an Explorer, that you notice that this bit's missing, whereas in this guitar there seemed to be just lots of guitar came in the way. The quality of this guitar is absolutely ridiculous, though. That's why I took it back off Ronnie. It's amazing. Somebody's bought a Les Paul Chipson. Nah. Good luck. I had one. I can't remember, where did I get it? I bought it off a guy in Stirling, a nice guy. I think I bought the Danelectro top box off it as well. It was a kind of older Chipson, and it was good. It was a good guitar. Obviously I didn't like the idea. It was a sort of natural ash top, and then it had a cream back, and it looked really cool. That one was really good. I also had one that somebody gave me that the neck had snapped kind of in here where it had been sitting. So I was buying other stuff off. I think I bought some pickups or tuners off him or something. So, do you want a Chipson Les Paul? And I was like, not really, no. And eventually he's like, the neck snapped. I don't know if you can fix it. And I was like, all right, well, it was like a tenner. It was like, so obviously I bought it, fixed the neck, but it was really bad. It was he got it and he just wanted some money back for his customs charges. It was like a sort of toy guitar. It looked like a guitar, but it's like, everything on it was just sort of like the tuners were metal, sort of, just, and the all the parts, and it was kind of like, I think I sold it for very little. Very obviously, because it was a Chipson. So, this wasn't one that you could mistake for a Gibson, though. Even if you didn't really know what you were looking at. As soon as you saw it, you kind of went, "Oh, this is not right." But that's the thing about Gibson. Same with Chenders as well. It does say Gibson, but that doesn't mean it's the same one that you bought from that factory next door, which looks the same. It could be an entirely different guitar in every way. Maybe it's absolute rubbish. I actually bought a Gibson when I was in China. I did a video of it, I think. And the neck was on at the wrong angle. It was a set neck, so I shouldn't have bought it anyway. It was a white Les Paul Custom with a single pickup. I think it was a single humbucker and a wraparound bridge and a set neck. And it looked stunning, but the neck was kind of on at an angle like this. So, I mean, you could have got away with if you just tilted it was a Tune-o-matic bridge, so you could just tilt the bridge like this and then tilt the pickup like this, and then everything would line up. But I wasn't happy with it, and I sent it back. That's why when I was in China, I was buying Telecasters, because if they put the neck on at the wrong angle, you can take it off and move it. Yeah. Funny, actually, you should mention that was an Aria. See that there. That is I've chosen the one guitar that doesn't have it. It's kind of there's definitely a little bit of DNA swapping about going on in there. So it could be a Matsumoku. Don't know. Only paid for it, not arrived yet. Bought all the hardware to upgrade it. Well, good luck. It could be good. It might not be. As I said, that one I had that was rubbish it doesn't really matter how good the hardware you put on it. It was the actual body was terrible. It was rubbish, basically. And the one I bought from China, it was actually all right, the white one, apart from the fact the neck was at a funny angle. The big thing is, I feel when you're buying stuff from AliExpress, it is a bit of a gamble, though, because when I was in China, I was in Shenzhen, and I was still buying them off, it wasn't AliExpress, it was a place called Taobao. But I was paying like £4 postage to get them to Civit's house, and then when they were good, I was just sending them back for nothing. So I was buying them really cheap. Whereas if you're buying one from AliExpress, you're kind of paying almost the same or more in actual shipping and postage than you are for the guitar, and you can't really send it back. So even if they give you your money back, you're still out on the postage. So I don't know, a wee bit of worrying about that. Saying that, I've actually, my pal Ian had, if we go back, I did have a Chipson. What did I do to it? I took the it had Gibson 490 pickups in it or something like that, and I swapped them back for the ones that came in it. I seem to remember this thing had flames all down on the inlays, and it was a decent guitar. It obviously said Gibson or Gibson on the headstock, but it was kind of all right. It was sort of kind of like an Epiphone Les Paul type quality, and if you're getting one like that, then yeah, it's totally worthwhile doing up. This that black one I had really wasn't. It's like a PV Predator. Oh, well, sort of. PV Predator was actually a PV Predator there. I thought that was the most hideous guitar I'd ever seen. That's why I made a new body for it. So this I thought was pretty much, yeah, it's called The Ugly. It really is hideous. Really nice guitar though. It's a gamble and I'm kicking myself. Very good. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be all right. I don't know. I mean, people do ask me about the guitars, but when I was bringing them back from China, it's like I did have, and I got my girlfriend was pretty sneaky about it. You know, I wasn't just buying a guitar. I was somebody from the UK who was thinking of buying a pallet of guitars, and this was a sample guitar I was getting. So the ones I've got, I maybe bought half a dozen and smuggled them back with me, were the best of the best, I think. So that's why the ones I've had have been really, really good. Because that was like trying to buy, I said I was going to buy like between 10 and 50, which I suppose is slightly dishonest, but maybe I will buy 10 or 50, just maybe not all at one time. Yeah, there's a few cans there. That's me for my recycling. It's not lager. I don't drink lager. It's Rockstar mostly, and Coke. But yeah, that was my plan. I bought a case of it probably about 2 years ago, and then I just basically, rather than having to go to the bin all the time, I just fill that up. So that's this week's, all the cans I've had this week, and then once it's full, I'll go and take it out to the bin, and I've still got the tray thing. And High Finder Telly 2020. This guitar is absolutely brutal. I think part of the ugliness is the one pickupness, because the two pickup one isn't immediately, oh, that's pure minging. The one pickupness definitely helps the ugliness a lot. But if anyone's got a bass one of these or a blue one, then I want it, I think. Yeah, so I'll move on to, we're on for 45 minutes. I'll go on to the pick of the bunch then, the best one. Oh, it doesn't have a strap on it, that's difficult. Oh. Have I got a strap line about? I'm sure I did. Where's that red strap? What's on that? Yeah. So here's the best guitar I've got. My favourite guitar. Sorry, you have to bear with me for a couple of seconds. I used to play GTA. I've never actually tried Red Dead. I do know. I've actually been playing GTA on the toilet. The last, probably more information than you actually needed. On the Game Boy, not a Game Boy. What's it called? The DS. It's amazing. It's great fun. Lumpy old strings, bit of fast fret, make them a bit less lumpy than a little. SG or Les Paul. I recently had a Starcaster. I don't really know. The Starcaster, is that the sort of it's SG, by the way, it's not Les Paul. I don't like Les Pauls. I've never come across one I really like. This used to be a fresher Les Paul, apparently, like a Japanese neck. This is planks of wood, and see it's got a funny face, which kind of reminds me of the wee guy in it's his tongue. Kind of reminds me of the wee guy in Ice Age, and this has a hardtail, quite microphonic. It's only got one wire on the guitar. There's a wire going from the volume control to the jack socket. The rest's just earthed. I made my own string butler type thing. See, up at the top, put skulls on the tuners and used black tuners with gold bits on, so they're black tuners. Painted the neck red. Yeah. Squire Standard or Affinity. One of them is much more expensive than the other one, so I'd imagine that it would be the more expensive one will just be better, really. This has been in the attic for a while. Right, so how I've been playing guitars pretty much all night with DiMarzio Super Distortions, real DiMarzio Super Distortions, as in that one, and then go-to copies of DiMarzio Super Distortions, and then this, which has got one single coil pickup. How can it keep up? How's it? Well, this isn't actually a Kelly pickup. This is I bought a guitar that had humbucker-sized P90s in it. And they were gold. Yeah, they were gold. I did like a sort of inlay thing on the top. It's hard to describe. I think Warman does them as well. So I took the cover off because I was trying to change the covers on it, and inside was just a normal one-size pickup. I was expecting, in a humbucker-sized P90 for the pickup to be at least the size of a humbucker. It wasn't. It was just that. So that's what that is. And basically, I angle grinded the brass plate on the bottom into the Telecaster shape, stuck it into the back of this. Obviously, there's two wires coming off that pickup. Those two wires go to the volume control, and then one of them's air start to that, and then there's one wire going from the volume control to the output jack. So it's the simplest of guitars. But it plays like an absolute dream, really does. That was me trying to. This isn't all my single pickups. I was thinking I've kind of got most of them out. I've still got the Eastwood Monolith, which is like a through neck Esquire, so it's like a telly, but it's got like a big, massive pickup that it says in the advert for it. It's the biggest pickup in the world, which I'm not sure, but I think what it is it's sort of like a P90 and a single coil in a big box. It's all resin coated, so I couldn't actually take it to bits to see what was inside it. But I forgot about that one. Yeah, I know the Starcaster, yeah. Tried Revelation guitars? Yes. Revelation. Is that the cheap, really expensive? I got Reverends and Revelation. Yes, Revelation are the sort of kind of my pal. I've done a review of one before. My pal Craig's got one. It's like sort of going in the jazz mastery sort of direction, sort of 50s. A lot of switches on it. It was really, really good. Not expensive. It was good. I think the way it's kind of like the talk about guitars and everyone's got their own taste and stuff like that. See what I'm seeing this. See when you make your own dinner and it tastes better. That's kind of what's happened here. I think that's maybe why I like this so much, because it's mine and it's the only one in the world. I kind of am enjoying it enough more than I think I should. It does sound good though. I've actually got another body, the same shape as this, sitting through in the garage that I've never really decided exactly what I'm going to do with. I do have a BC Rich neck there, which I was thinking BC Rich neck because it's got the BC Rich Mockingbird horn on it. But I kind of like this. So it's a Les Paul scale, a Les Paul neck, Telecaster bridge, P90 pickup, Telecaster Mockingbird body. I've never found a BC Rich Warlock that I liked enough. I've got a few BC Riches. I've had a couple of Warlocks, but the earlier ones, the ones that are the NJ series, are much better guitars. You can get them for the same sort of price because nobody knows what they are. I've got like a Bitch, a Wave, and a Mockingbird, and they're just a different league from the normal BC Riches, even the expensive ones. Yeah, that's be kind of. I've talked enough, I think. Can't need the toilet, to be honest. The last half hour when I said I'll be on in half an hour went really quickly because I was looking at all these guitars. I was like, oh, that's right, that one as well, and they all had to be tuned and all that. I might have a wee bit. I might stick it and try and find a nice. I don't really like that one really much. Try something else a bit more. A bit saxony. Oh, really? Why did we go wrong? We go 747 coming down the night. It's too fast. Let go. Running lights. Radio off the river. Let it get the message through. Rivers and inland. Robots and performance. Speakers and inland. Oh no. They're not holding tune particularly well. So thanks for everyone coming on. So some folk were watching it. It's great. I think a lot of people watch these later on. I should maybe, rather than winging it quite so much, I should probably actually have something specific to talk about, maybe. But thanks for your comments and everyone, and cheers for filling up the Joe Duffy and Fender Telly talking away there. Yay, Saxon, yeah. I really like Saxon. I've seen them a few times in Glasgow. They're awesome. My rock jacket, which is, my voice will get much louder. Oh, not been filled up with anything for now. This is my rock jacket, and it's signed by Saxon and Graham Bonnet and Europe and Nazareth and Wilco Johnson, and that's Saxon there. That's Nigel Glocker, Biff, and that was my strong arm of the law, which they thought was quite amusing. Yeah, I can't even remember who else has signed that. Dragon Force, Sabaton, folk like that. That's when the ABC used to be kicking about, which was by far my favourite venue in town, and it burnt down, and they're not going to reopen it, so rubbish. Anyway, rock on. I'm going to now put away some of these guitars, and I'm going to go to the toilet. Catch you later, man. Men, cheers.